Lights on OBS. Let's see if we're live yet. Looks like we're live on Twitch. Good. Let's check YouTube. Yep, looks like we're live on YouTube. So, right, yes, more Dwarf Fortress. Woohoo! Now, I've been a bit careless. I've learnt my lesson. So I know in future, if I am building, especially if I'm recording, if I'm building a trench or digging a trench and it's going to be multi-tiered, I can't mark out the layers below in advance of marking out the layers on top because it's too hard to tell, at least for me. I'm somewhat colourblind. It's too hard for me to tell whether the top layer has been dug out before I start digging the bottom layer. So we've got a bit of tidying up to do, but it's not too critical. Now, what I have noticed is that there's 4 vulnerabilities in the fort at the moment. We're nearly secure, but there's 4 vulnerabilities and we need to address those pretty quickly. So the first one is, yes, mistake number 1 that I made. Hello, potato. Who's creeping on stream whilst working on drawings. Yeah, first vulnerability. So this was the first mistake I made. My temporary hole that we dug just to bring things indoors. I actually dug it across where I wanted my trench to be. So at the moment, things can wander into the trench, can just wander straight into the base. So we need to wall that off. That's our priority. Then the next vulnerability that I've got is over here. There's one little patch just between that downward slope and that downward slope where things can just walk in and out of our moat. In and out of the trench. So we need to dig the trench deeper there. I mean, generally digging the trench deeper all round is a good thing, but there particularly. And that will at least stop wild creatures from wandering into the trench. Now, the third vulnerability is the dwarves having to go outdoors. So what we have, if we go down, 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 down to here. Yeah, we've got Alex who got injured in a cave-in. She's got a fractured leg. People are running out to the river to get some water for her. So what we need to do is get an indoor water source so they don't need to leave the base. Because basically that's my aim, is to just get everything indoors so that we don't need to go outdoors anymore. Or if we're outdoors, it's just within our own territory. So what I've got planned out, if we go down a little bit further, the river is up this blue stripe. There's the river. So we want to dig that blue stripe. I'm going to dig a tunnel to allow the river water to come close. Here we have a down stair. That will allow the water to flow down the stairs and then through this diagonal. A diagonal resets the water pressure. That means that the water won't flow upwards. This will be the height that it settles at. And here we've got, I'm going to dig a hole here. This will just dig a room out with a hole in the middle. And then we'll dig beneath that chamber. We'll just put a well there so that they can collect the water. And here I'm digging a staircase down so that as we channel out underneath, the dwarves have got a way to get back out of the well if they, while they're digging it, and also if they happen to fall in later. It's we're going to need bigger, better water sources, but this will do for now. And a single layer well will soon run out of water. But we'll be able to refill it because I'll put some bridges in this channel so that we can shut the water on and off as required. So that's the third vulnerability. And then the fourth vulnerability, if we go back up to the surface, There's an awful lot of chopped wood lying around outside of the trench, and the dwarves are going to go out and collect that. I'm particularly worried about the stuff that's so close to the edge of the map over here. This is the far south, so we will get no warning if enemies appear here. So we need to at least get it into the trench, and I think what we'll do to do that is I'll declare a dumping zone and just get them to throw it over the edge into the trench, and we can collect it at a later point. But for the meantime, we've got the dwarves are going to focus on two things. One is building this wall. So the people who are not mining should focus on that, and then my miners should focus on just making the trench deeper in that place there. So let's let them get on with it. So we already have the blocks to build the wall, I'm pleased to say. And this is our biggest vulnerability, because things can just walk in and out at the moment. As you can see, someone's just walked down to the trench to get something, probably for making some mica crafts or something. They just walked out and picked up a lump of rock. So we do have an access point for the dwarfs to be able to get in and out of the trench via our secure entrance. So if we have a look, good. Right, the miners have now finished making the trench deeper. So we can get them working on our next problem, which is the water source. So I'm going to need them to get over into this corner. And the easiest way to do that is to use this area that they've already built. So we'll just get them to go around the corner and then just dig over in this direction. This blue area is stuff that we are going to be digging out anyway at some point. This is going to be just a big storage area because it's very close to the trade depot. These stairs lead straight down to the trade depot. Okay, if they get to there, then they can dig to that bit, and they can dig through to here. Through, actually, I don't need them digging on that side. I can dig through to here and to there, then dig a downstairs there. Yep, and upstairs there. So actually, no, I want an up downstairs there because we'll probably end up digging it deeper. So yeah, then I want them to dig across to here, dig an upstairs there. We won't want that to go any deeper. Then going up a level, the downstairs there. So the way Dwarf Fortress works, oops, I need to fix that, is downstairs crack through the floors and upstairs crack through ceilings. But you need, they're like escalators. Every staircase needs an up and a down portion. Okay, so we've got an up downstairs there. And that should just be a mine. Yeah, we just need to dig it straight through to there. Okay. So they'll mine through here. They can mine through diagonals. They can walk through diagonals just fine. They'll go, that looks like an upstairs to me. Hang on. Yeah, dig a downstairs there. That's better. And then beneath that, an upstairs and a downstairs, so that we're prepared for digging deeper. Okay, they'll then dig across here. They'll get to the upstairs. And then they'll dig a downstairs there, and then we want them to dig this long channel along here. all the way to the river. See, it's probably easier if I just do this because it is a very long channel. And the fact that this is a long channel tells you how far the dwarves are walking to get water, because they'll be walking all the way to the river. Okay, once they've dug it, we'll put 2 bridges in, one at the near end and one at this far end, and then we'll get them to channel down from up above, and that'll allow the water in here. And then they never need to come out of here again, which would be a good thing. Okay, so that's our miners busy, or at least one miner busy. Now, have they finished building the wall? I think they might have. Almost. I'll let them finish doing that. Okay. Right, sounds like we've got a miner downstairs. Right, we're now far more secure than we were before. That makes a big difference, having that wall there. Nothing now can just walk into our base. The walls around the edge of the trench that connect the trench to the inside, every single one of them, even these little funny bits that stick out here, every single one of them has got an overhang that prevents things from just climbing in. Hello, Lieutenant Lukin. Welcome to the stream. So we're now in a situation where a building destroyer can't just walk into the base. So that's good. We're in a lot better situation now. So now to stop the dwarves from doing silly things, something that will help them. I've planned out. So this is our secure entrance here. It's only partly built. We've got the bare bones going. There's only one way in and out of the base at the moment, and that is through this exit here. So we have ramps that lead up to the outside world, and traders can come in through here. But it also means that our dwarves at the moment, if they want to get in and out, have to come over here, and this is the edge of the map. So they have to get very close to this edge of the map to be able to get in and out of the base. And as I say, they are going to be going in and out of the base at the moment. So one thing that will help them is over here. I've already planned a route for them to be able to, similar to this route here is for them to get in and out of the trench. We also want a route for them to be able to get in and out of the outside world without having to go through our one main door, at least for the moment. So we need to dig an upstairs there, and then we're going to have to do an up down stair from here to here. That's one below the surface, and then on the surface, because we can't dig an up down stair there because there's nothing for them to dig up into, we'll want a down stair there. Okay, so one of our miners should get on with that. Meanwhile, I'm not going to wait for that. I am going to tell our dwarves to start collecting this wood. So what we'll do is I'm going to put a dumping zone just here. So we do that by I for a zone, and we'll just double click on a single area. If you have, so if I click I now, actually if I click away from that, you can see there's a little highlighted area just under my cursor. If you have a 1x1 dumping zone, hello Cell, a 1x1 dumping zone, which is next to a drop, rather than dumping things into the dumping zone, they'll dump it over the edge, which is excellent. So we'll just highlight that again, and we'll say it's going to be a garbage dump. Hang on. Select it. Yeah, that one. Dump. There we go. Okay. So looking at it again. Have they got it? No, something. Let me reset that. Right, zones. Ignore everything. Let's try it again. I just there. Double click. D for dump. Okay. If I click away, click I again. Yep, we can see it's there. Right, so that'll work. So what I need to do now is to say to them, all of this wood, go and dump it. That one and that one. That one. That one. The world is already a dangerous place, but it's only going to become more dangerous, so it's better to get this sort of stuff done early. Also, because the dwarves are still relatively new to the base, they probably won't have become cave adapted yet. Now, cave adaptation means that they're so used to living underground that they get sick in the sunlight, and there are ways to try and prevent that. Hello, Cupo. Welcome to the stream. So there are ways to prevent cave adaptation, but personally, my preference is to just have a few dwarfs that are okay with the outside world. The rest of them, I'm quite happy because I'm going to want to keep most people indoors anyway. So we'll have a few people who are quite happy working outdoors on things like the planted fields. The rest of them are just going to live indoors the whole time. But for the moment, while it's still a fresh new fort, this is where we need to get all of that stuff that's outside of the trench, inside the trench. Right, now, cleaning up this mistake here. So this was oops, it's down a level. Might even be down 2 levels. Yeah, I've learned a lesson. That lesson being, don't mark out, or at least for me, it might just be my colour blindness, maybe other people can tell the difference, but I can't mark out in advance layers of channeling because I can't tell which layer the dwarves are working on, and I might be looking at something thinking that the upper layer has been channeled out when actually it hasn't, which is what's happened here. So as long as we're careful, we won't have another Alex. Alex is an injured dwarf who, yeah, well, it wasn't actually the cave-in that was the problem, it was the drop. So what I think happened here was, rather than just one dwarf doing the channeling as happened there, I think we had 2 dwarves and somebody has channeled underneath where Alex was standing and she fell through. Okay, here come the dwarves to dump the wood. Yeah, this isn't a priority. It's we're secure now that we've broken it away. It doesn't form a bridge to the mainland, so we're fine. Oh, and we have an elven caravan. Nice. Okay, but before we do that, yeah, they've still got plenty of wood here to be dumping. So I don't know, why are you running back, dwarves? Come and do your job. We need to do it out here. The elven caravan, I am not going to worry about too much yet. We do have an underground depot built. They'll be around for a while. We haven't got much to take down to them, so we'll sort that out in a bit. Okay, meantime, let's see how the dwarves are getting on with the underground mining. So we've got the water source that's being dug out. Alright, they are some ways towards that. Yep, he's working on it there. And our other dwarf is working on this one. Right, now what we can do straight away is to get a bridge over here to make this secure. Just a 2-wide bridge. I'll move it there and we'll retract it towards us. That means that if we have an emergency and we need to retract it and there's still a dwarf or even a visitor who's stood on it, there's more of a chance that they'll be flung inwards than squashed or flung outwards. So we'll put that there and we'll make that out of some blocks or other. What blocks have we got around? We've got, let's use up some of these jet blocks. We're going to need a lever for that, so we'll build a lever over here. That'll make sense because this one immediately below it, I think, is the lever for this bridge here, which connects to the trench. Beds? I didn't say beds. Trap, lever, there, mechanisms. Nice. Okay. So somebody will get on with that. Yeah, as you can see, any dwarf going to the outside world at the moment is having to go down the channel. Which means our base is secure, but our dwarves aren't. Okay, have you dug all the way up to the outside world? Almost. Oh, he's decided he's going the long way round. Okay, now let's build a hatch cover on that. That'll stop things like wild animals and goblins from wandering in there. It won't stop building destroyers. That's why we've got the bridge. Okay. Now I did ask them to move the dogs, I think, to here. Did I? Let's just check. I want the dogs over here. Or was that... Did I go up a level? Let me just see. Yeah. So it's here. I want the dogs there. No, I don't. I've moved the dogs from there to my main entrance. That's right. Yeah. So as soon as they have puppies, we'll put puppies there. Because this is where we are most vulnerable to flying thieves. Having dogs there, I had the dogs there earlier when it was our main entrance into the base. But yeah, we've only got so many dogs and I want them all out front at the moment. Okay, merchants have arrived, so let's just stop what we're doing and transfer the goods to the trade depot. Right, we've not got much. It's we're too early for much. But we should have some crafts and yeah, all of the crafts are made out of rock, so we can sell everything. I'm pretty sure we haven't had anyone with a fey mood yet, so... Oh, actually, we've made quite a lot of crafts. They're all pretty low quality, so they won't be worth much, but then there won't be much to buy from the elves anyway. Barrels, buckets... We could sell some of our mugs. I'm quite happy to sell off the lower quality mugs. Because we've got plenty of mugs. Yeah, and that'll do. Alright, so we'll let people bring that stuff down. In fact, we'll get the trader there as well. No, we'll let the trader move stuff. Okay, so we should start seeing the stream of people coming down, dropping stuff off. Oh, we've got our first piglet. Nice. The thing about having a securely built base, especially if the dwarves don't actually need to go outside for anything, or once we get to the point where the dwarves don't need to go outside for anything, is that it means that we can take time about building a military, which I'm quite happy about. With us having a source of iron means that I don't have to rush into making lower quality cheap armor and weapons. We can go straight for steel. And we've got baby llama. Nice. Okay. We should be nearly done with bringing stuff down. Just waiting for the stream of people to stop, and then we'll get the trader here. Right, I think we'll get the trader at the depot and wherever they're up to. While that's going on, I want to keep an eye on it. We've got miners who are doing nothing. And now that we are relatively secure, what I'd like to do is to get them focused on doing the outdoor works, because miners are going to spend almost all the time indoors, and before they start getting cave adapted, I'd like for them to do all of the outdoor works. So we'll get them doing this again, just every other block, to make sure that nobody mines underneath where somebody's standing. And just make sure they definitely did do all of that. Yes, they did. Let's see which Cell says. Having a military is pretty important if you ever want to retire a fortress and start a new one, because the game doesn't really take account of traps and other defences out in the world map. Yeah, indeed. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we won't be looking to retire the fort until after we've got a military. We should, because I should be able to build up a pretty strong military relatively quickly. Okay. Are they... Yeah, they've stopped dumping the logs because they're working on getting stuff down to the trade depot. What I want to see is... Yep, they're... What we should see is that, because they came out here for something, do we have any logs down here which have been forbidden? No, so they haven't actually dumped any yet. I thought that's what they might have come up to do. I haven't got any other dumping grounds, so they won't have done that. Cupo says, is that the idea, building a fort to visit in adventure mode? And not really. What I'm doing at the moment, because I know we've got an update, let me just pause it for a second. Because we've got an update that's soon, pretty imminent, certainly before the end of January. I put Dwarf Fortress down for a couple of months, and what I found when I picked it back up again was that I couldn't remember things that I knew that I'd known before. Things like, why is nobody cutting that tree down? What have I done wrong? It's within a workable area. I've got enough axes. I've got people with the tree cutting. Why is no one cutting that tree? And it was because all of my tree choppers were in the military. So little things like that, all of the things that go wrong and how to fix them, all of the lessons that I've learned. What I want to do when the next update comes out is to make a probably recorded rather than streamed sort of tutorial type thing, but particularly aimed at me, so that when I put Dwarf Fortress down again, pick it back up again, and I'm trying to figure out why I used to know how to do this. Why is it not working? Why won't anyone in my military put on boots? Or all of those things that I've learned, I'll be able to watch my own videos and work out how to play it again, because it's those little things, especially once you've played it enough. Because I've been playing Dwarf Fortress for a few years, but yeah, when I stop playing for a little while and then start playing again, there's so much I have to relearn, and it'd just be so good if I had something to remind myself. So I thought, well, it's going to be a little while before I've got a few weeks. I was kind of itching to do it as well, but we've got a few weeks before the next update comes out, and I've got a couple of weeks off work. So I thought, right, well, let's practice. Let's have a practice fort and let's do some streaming, because I'm not working, so that means I can stream all day, every day if I want to. And I can just have a practice at building the kind of fort that I want, that I want to build if I'm doing a tutorial series for myself. Because if I'm to be able to do a tutorial type series, I need to be able to play a slow game, so that I can capture all of the things. So I've picked something similar to that, building a defensive fort so that I don't have to get straight into military. I can focus on how to build stairs. Do you know, I'd completely forgotten why you can't build an up down stairs on the surface. They're just bizarre little things like that I tend to forget. So I'm building the type of fort that I think I'll be able to do a tutorial series on. I thought we'd just have a play and a practice and see what goes wrong. So yeah, one lesson I've learned is I'm slightly colourblind, and so I can't tell whether if I've got a multi-layered, like a stepped moat like this one is, I can't tell which layer I've channeled and which one I haven't. I can't tell whether I'm looking at this layer or the layer below. So I can't mark out multiple layers in advance, which is what I'd done here, and it caused me all kinds of problems. And it's actually set me back a full season. We're now in spring year 2. And the stuff I'm doing now, I should have had finished by sort of midwinter. And we're having to do a lot of tidying up. I should have had my water source secured. I usually aim to do that by the end of winter. So, yeah. So a bit behind, actually. But lessons are learnt, and that's a good thing. And I will remind myself of that when I do my recorded series. Right, how are we getting on with the water source over here? They've made quite... Oh, good. They've done the whole thing. So let's build a bridge out here. So I want to be able to cut the water off at the source. And I also want to be able to cut it off close to the well. Let's do it this side of the roots, I think. So we only need a 1x1 bridge, but I like a 2x2 bridge because it's... so much easier to see whether it's raised or lowered. Okay, there. Make it out of... Yeah, we'll use up some more of those jet blocks. And where to put the lever for that? Let's get them digging... Probably just outside here would be a good place. That's... Digging, not building doors. So if I allow them to dig that bit there, and then we'll put the lever there. I would also like another bridge. Build a bridge quite close to our well. So about here would be good. So we'll make that one wider, and we'll have it retract. Doesn't really matter, we'll have it retract towards us. Jet blocks. So we'll need 2 levers there once they've dug out that bit. Now, we've built this bridge and we've built this lever. Let me just check. Yes, that's the trench. And so I just need to connect that one to probably the last bridge we built. Yes, it is. Nice mechanisms are fine. Okay, one little trick that I use is every time I connect up a lever, that's when I give it a name. So if I see a lever that hasn't got a name, I know I've forgotten to connect it. And so this is our bolt hole. This is the way to get in and out quickly, and it's the bolt hole to the east. It will also be to the southeast eventually, but for the moment, that'll do. But that gives our dwarves another way in and out of the base, and it's a way that we can make very secure. So these two should both be named because they're both connected, and I think that one down there as well. Yeah, good. Okay, let's just see. I think... yeah, it looks like everybody's finished moving stuff down, so let's trade. Sell everything. How much does that give us? Ooh, 12.50, not bad. Right, these are the elves. I've got it switched. I've got the option switched on to do... I think it's called enhanced interactions with the civilizations. That means that both elves and humans will come and trade with us. Now with the elves, we could just steal this stuff. We could say, just give us your stuff, we want it all. But I like to keep them coming back as long as possible. They won't do anything. It won't, they can't attack us. They won't have brought any guards with them. But yeah, I find it useful to keep them coming. Now, let's see what they've got that we might want. They won't have much. I would like a cage. It'll save me making some cages of my own. We've got giant tortoises that we've trapped inside of our moated area. And I want to catch them and train them because I think they would make really good guard dogs. Yeah, cheap enough. Let's get another one. See, I don't want a black mamba or a hippo or a chinchilla or a dingo or a barn owl. Let's see, some of these cheap barrels and buckets wouldn't be a bad idea. Not taking any of their weapons. I'm not paying any money for clothes at the moment. Our dwarves are all still freshly arrived, so we don't need clothes. I wouldn't mind some chests. They've got some cheap ones, so I think we'll buy those. I've asked our dwarves to make some, but they're being a bit slow about it. I wouldn't mind getting candle nuts. I've never heard of. I presume it's some form of food. But yeah, I wouldn't mind getting just a little bit of extra food in because I haven't got the dwarves gathering plants at the moment. Just because I've got them busy doing other things. So yeah, a little bit of food. I would quite like to buy a nice crutch, and that one looks quite nice. Wow, that's expensive. That's expensive. I wonder why they're so expensive. Oh, and that's all they've got for sale. Well, we should be expecting the humans in the next season, so I don't mind if we don't spend all of our cash. I'll just get a little bit of extra food off them, I think. And that'll do. Right, let's send back all the stuff we don't want to trade. So our trader's not very good. I probably need to leave about 400's worth. So we'll take back the more valuable stuff. That way they don't have to carry too much. which is sort of economically probably not the best move. Because if the elves want to pay a high value for something, I probably should let them. But at the moment, probably my labour is more valuable to me. Right, we'll just take stuff off the list until we get to 400. So we're on 500 there. 400 there. Right, they should accept that. Hello, Blazing Gale. Not seen you for a while. Okay, right, they've accepted that. We don't need the trader there. Right, people. Now, will you please get upstairs and start dumping the wood over the edge? Our animals are now safe, which is a good thing. Oh, need to go down one. Okay, it's there. And then we'll take out every other one. Alright, they made short work of that. Looks like we've got a flying creature knocking around. I'll check in a minute. Oh, come on, dwarf. There's one last one to do. Okay. And then they can remove the last of those. And then what I'd like to get them doing is making the trench a bit deeper, just generally all round. At the moment it is at least 2 deep everywhere, so things can't just walk in and out of the trench. But it's not secure until you remove all of the ramps. Some of the ramps are, I think, can climb down one wall and jump onto a ramp. So we're not... Things will get into the trench, and a lot of things will just jump into the trench if they really want to get to us. The other thing I want to do with the trench is make sure that everything is deep enough that we have a rock floor. So like here, I think this is a sand floor. Might need to go down one more. Yeah. I want to make sure that we don't have any sand or other soils, because I don't want any trees growing in the trench. Trees can form bridges. That's why I've made the trench quite so wide. See the width of this tree here? So the center point of that tree is there. The tree has grown out by 3. Now if we get a tree growing on our edge and another tree grows on the other edge, if this was not 8 wide, then it would form a bridge. So especially elves just climb the tree, climb across, and they're straight into our fortress. So by having an 8 wide gap, the trees will never touch. So it doesn't make us completely secure. Some things can jump, but yeah, we're fine for the moment. It's only as the game starts getting, as we start facing much more difficult monsters, flying creatures we're not safe from at the moment, but we're all right. We're doing all right. Now, right, digging dwarfs. Oh, hang on. Are the bridges downstairs built? Ah, yeah, that'll be a while. Just make sure that we've definitely removed everything from the top. So from here to here, yep. From here to here. From here to here. Good. Go down a level. I don't think there should be anything here either. Nope. Good, that's good. Go down another level. Okay, we're good here as well. What about here? Okay, so this is where we're at. What about there? Okay, yeah, it'd be good if you could... I'm not sure if they can reach that, but I would like them to remove that if they can. What about this stuff here? Now, are we going to collapse the roof anywhere? What's here? Ah, yes we are. Okay. Right, so I need to be a little bit careful. They're only going to fall one, so it won't be disastrous if somebody mines under somebody. But I don't want anything falling on their heads. So let's take this a little bit slowly. Yeah, that's good. I'll get them to do that bit first, and then we'll just work our way back, layer by layer. How far out does it extend? It actually extends out further than the trench. Okay. Right, well that gives the miners something to be getting on with. Now, what about this wood? Are you dumping the wood yet? I'm a little bit puzzled, nervous, worried, something like that. So why they haven't started this task. We've got 6 idlers. I wonder if they can't see the path to it. Or maybe it's just too far away for them. Our animals are scared. Let me just have a look at what that flying thing is. We've got vultures. We've got unicorns. And eagle. Vultures are thieves, so they may well cause us problems. All of the people are outside repasturing the animals that keep walking away. We could just move the animals indoors until the vultures disappear. That mightn't be a bad idea, actually. Just to stop them from running around, we could... what's this zone here? I think this was... Oh, this was our earliest pasture zone, wasn't it? Let's get rid of that. We don't want that. Right, we'll just move the animals inside here for the moment. All of the ones that are pasturable animals. Because otherwise... our dwarves are going to be constantly running upstairs to repasture them. Turkey hen, I think should be inside already. The mule, the llama, and the baby llama. Okay. Yeah, they can come inside for a short while before they need to go back outside to be pastured again. But I think what I'll do... they're not responding very well to that dumping instruction, so I think I'll build a wood pile out here. It's close to both of the entrances and just gets it off the surface. So I'll tell them just bring any wood that isn't already in a stockpile, just bring it down here. That'll be great. Oh, what have we got? Oh, hello, Bone and Blat. Unicorns, hunt them for their horns. Mule and llama needs to be outside because they're grazers. Yeah, they do. They can survive indoors for a short period of time. While we've got things that are just scaring them outdoors, the vultures, they just worry them out of their pasture area. And the vultures will leave eventually. We might end up having to deal with the vultures. Okay, but yeah.
Some haggard-looking migrants have arrived.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a baby, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20... Loads. Alright, I need lots of names beginning with D. Preferably short names. Whoa. Okay, who dug through something that someone was standing on? We should be... Oops. Ah, yeah, that's right. I meant to remove all of that area, not just one strip. Whoops. Yeah, precisely for this reason, actually. But... well, we might as well tell them to channel out the rest of it. They'll be a bit dusty. Must be the next layer down. Yeah, I'd rather that didn't happen. Someone's been knocked unconscious. I hope it's not Alex again. Oh gosh, it is. Oh, and this time it's her left leg. And she's hurt her right upper arm as well. Let's just gonna remove that and then put it back to see what's still there, because some of it will have collapsed in. Well, we do at least have a hospital. Alright, people are... oh no, that's the merchants leaving, but it looks like people are going and getting wood. Right, combat. Who's in combat? Oh, we've got a ranger. Right, I don't want the hunters hunting. Let's read the new dwarfs. Hello, Babom. Dick. Yeah. Right. I don't want people fishing. And hunting is quite frankly a waste of arrows, especially when you're trying to shoot giant tortoises. And certainly don't shoot the giant tortoise that's inside the base. That's we're going to trap that later. Oh, but we've got some good doctors. Look at that. Okay, so you shall be Dr. Dick. How about that? So many people to give a D name to. Might do it off camera, save you sitting here and watching me rename anyone. But if anyone's got a D name, male or female, let's give someone Derek. Yep, feel free to suggest it. You can be a Deirdre. I don't even know how to spell Deirdre. Is it Deirdre? No, that's not right. Deirdre. Never mind, it's close enough. Yep, so I use the alphabet to determine how long people have been around. It just helps me out. Deborah. Yep. Deborah. Excellent. Right, and I'll rename the rest of them off camera. But for the meantime, right, what do I want you doing? You should all be hauling. We've got a ton of wood to haul. The only people... my woodcutter is no longer cutting wood. You can do hauling now as well. So the only people who should be idle should be the miners. And they should only be idle if they've got nothing to mine. But good to see that Alex recovered from her last injury long enough to suffer another one. Oops. Yeah, it won't be a big problem. Might get knocked out and get a bit dusty and... let's just check that is... You're fighting. Who are you fighting? The giant tortoise. Yeah, don't fight the giant tortoise. Just get back in. Leave the tortoise alone. Really? Okay. What we can do to interrupt them is to say, just stop your hunting. Something I would be doing at some point anyway, but we'll just do a quick temporary version. I'm going to tell them to come to a safe place. So I'm going to add a burrow. And this will be a temporary burrow, so I won't worry too much about it. But I'm going to say from here to here, that's a burrow. We'll call it indoors. Okay, and then we can go to military alerts. And I'm going to add a new alert. That alert I'm going to call indoors. And I want to associate our indoor burrow to that alert. And now I'm going to say, right, all civilians, just come indoors. Okay, that's long enough to interrupt them with whatever they were doing. So now I can say, yeah, it's okay, you can stay outside, just don't be a hunter anymore.
Oh, there goes another dwarf gonna build some useless convention and then it's worthless.
Oh, it's our first Fey mood. And he's not running to take a workshop. Bigoth, let's have a look at you. Bigoth? Oh, Rigoth. Sorry, Rigoth. It is... Oh, he's a boy. Okay, right, we're going to need one of those. So build me a workshop, and it's a boy we need. B, yeah. That's his highest skill, so that's the workshop he wants. Yeah, make it out of shale blocks, fine. Is this the tortoise with anxiety? No, it's the dwarf who's got anxiety. Doesn't the migration wave in the therapist do the same? Sorry, I missed the context behind your question. So I'm not sure what we're talking about. Oh, do you know what? I probably need to tell somebody else. Everyone can do it. Well, at least all of you new people. One of you go build that workshop for him. Regarding on how long dwarves have been in your fortress. Oh, yeah. So of course and that's how I've got it set up at the moment, so I can. Very good. I've got it set up so I can see it by migration wave. Oh yeah, he's the one in the strange mood. But when it comes to other things like setting up your military, so the other menu screens, I just find it really useful to be able to tell by somebody's name roughly how long they've been around. It gives me an idea of things like, without having to check backwards and forwards to Dwarf Therapist, it gives me an idea of things like how skilled they're likely to be in something useful, or how likely they are to be cave adapted. Alright, what do you need? Logs, rock blocks, logs, rock blocks, logs, rock blocks. Right, you should be fine. We've got logs and rock blocks. Go fill your boots. Meanwhile, in our disaster area up here, they might not be able to reach this. Yeah, they probably can't. It's not too much of a problem. It's just a ledge that sticks out of the side. Where is it? It should be on this level. So if I say... just cancel. Fine. And I'm guessing that these they can't get to either. Otherwise they'd have done it by now. So let's go. Let's just see what they've left behind. Yep, that bit. Anything else? Okay, yeah, you need to go do all of that bit then, dwarfs. And that should be nice and safe. That's not over any overhanging area. That ammo, by the way. Oh, that crossbow. Yeah, we can have that back. That'll be our first artifact, which is nice. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming. Sorry. Excuse me. That was too fast to remember the pause button. What's wrong with you? Why are you running around like a crazy thing? Oh, thank you, Bone and Plant. Are you just still scared of that tortoise? Really? Well, I think we just need to give you something better to do with your time, don't we? Right, got lots of idlers. Is the wood stockpile full? Is that your problem? Yeah, it's pretty full. Okay, in that case, do a big wood stockpile here. Just bring any... We're fine on this level. This won't be going down any deeper, so... Yeah, just bring all of the wood that you've got. Just bring it down here. Do some hauling. Yeah, and up here nothing has got dumped. So, oh, okay, someone's on it now, finally. Alright, miners have finished that. Right, let's cancel this. I don't think anyone can get to that. So this layer here has been completed, yes, except that bit. So now we should be able to go down a level. That's it. I'm a bit paranoid. Was there anything else over here? We definitely removed everything. Over here? Yep, we've definitely removed everything, so we can go down a level. Alright. I don't really need to make this bit any deeper, but they're pretty quick at it. And, well, no, actually, there's sand there, and I don't want sand floors. We want to take it out this side as well. Anything over here you can remove, then do that too. Oops, okay. Has this gone all the way to the edge? Oh yeah, do that bit if you can. It is a wood crossbow. Okay, thank you very much for your efforts. Hopefully nobody will actually need to use that. It doesn't matter what material you make your crossbows out of when it comes to shooting things, but because when they run out of ammunition they use it as a melee weapon, a wood crossbow is really not very good. Okay, right, how are we getting on with the water source? Have we got all of this built? Right, so we need to build 2 levers. We'll have a lever here and a lever here. We'll have a far one and a near one. Meanwhile, I need to get the dwarves to mine out. We'll get them to mine out all of this for the moment. And then to channel that bit. And Bone and Black says, well, but you don't really want your crossbow dwarves to go into melee anyway. Best if they sit back behind fortifications. Do you know, I've found that fortifications are only a good thing for a short while. Once you've got through like maybe the first or second goblin attack, beyond that point, the attackers are good enough that they can shoot through your fortifications at you. And so what I tend to do is to trap them into a small area underground anyway. And I've just remembered that my ice maker is still switched on and is about to make a lot of gurgling noises in the background. Just give me a second while I just go switch that off, and I'll pause the game while I do so. I'll be back in just a moment. it can be really quite noisy. Alright. Yeah, so what I usually do with my crossbow dwarfs is get them behind a melee force so that they shouldn't be going into battle anyway. I get a good strong melee force in front and then crossbow dwarfs behind them. It's only if they run out of ammunition. But I only take on small groups of attackers at once. I sort of set everything up so that shouldn't be a problem. Right, while they're building... Oh, we've got the levers. Okay, so I want that one to control with one of the later bridges. Yeah, make that one the close bridge. So that is... this is the near water duct. And then this one, I want to connect you to a bridge. And you'll be the far water duct. There we go. Still better to have your crossbows behind fortifications, but the fortification has to be placed that the enemy can't stand right next to it. Trust me, I have had dwarves shot from like 8 squares away. From the other side of my moat, in fact. They can... A good archer, I think they need to be competent or higher to be able to shoot from a distance through fortifications. I mean, it's better than not having fortifications, absolutely. But it also means that then you can... It limits you as to where you're... If you rely on it, then it limits you as to where you're going to put your crossbowmen. And it gives you a vulnerability in your fort. So... Previously, because I decide on a battle arena and say I am going to have my dwarves are going to have their fights here, and I set it up so that it's in my favour. And I have in the past surrounded that with fortifications so I could keep the crossbow dwarves on the other side of those fortifications. But what I actually found it to be more problematic than beneficial. Oh, drawbridges. I use drawbridge. I think you'll like what I do with drawbridges. I shall have a lot of drawbridges. Okay, are you connected? Yes. Are you connected? Not quite. Okay. While they're doing that, how are we doing up on the surface? I really need to sort out my hotkeys. Oh, at last. Okay, so they have dumped almost all the wood. There's one left there. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll say don't dump it. Just come and bring it in and put it in a stockpile. Because that way I can then get rid of that dumping ground. Right, there's no... Oh! Okay. Right, we're designed for this. Shame that our dogs haven't had chance to have any puppies though. Right. I hope nobody's outside. I wonder if they are. It's always possible. Right, let's set a we'll expand the warren. It now includes here and here, and I want military alert. I want everybody indoors, and the lever I want pulling is that one. And do it now. Okay, he's taken out one of the... Okay, right. We are... Our base is safe, but anyone who's outside isn't. Now, usually, what I get around to doing is putting doors around here so that if any dwarves are running back, I can trap them between the doors while we get some more levers pulled. What I'd like to do now is to get that one pulled right now. And get these ones pulled as well so that we trap it in here. Meanwhile, just to slow it down a little bit, I'm going to forbid passage here and here, so that if it comes this way, it's actually got to break the door. And then I'm gonna also say that this area is not part of the area where you're allowed. Go down to where the levers are and go and sort out those levers. We probably won't get it trapped inside fast enough. Now, where's it going? Have we got a dwarf outside? Ah, okay, it's changed back. It's an elf. So we lost 2 dogs, which is a shame because we haven't bred them yet, so we've only got 1 dog left, but that's their purpose, is to warn us if a werewolf comes. And now we can... Right, we can cancel that. We can pull that lever. Pull that lever. Cancel that one. I'll get them to pull the levers before I reset the... oh, and open the doors as well. Before I reset the military alert. Passable. Passable. Okay. Military alerts. Inactive. You can get about your business. And we'll sort out a better burrow for them than that. Right, meanwhile... I don't know if the miners were still working on stuff here or not. Oh, the animals are hungry. So we'll go back upstairs to There's only a little pasture up here, but it'll do. Oh, meanwhile, I think we've had another baby llama. Actually, we've had quite a few new animals. The others don't need to be pastured outside. So I can use this little area here for pasturing those animals. So who's not pastured? A gander and a puppy. Right, we do have one dog. Let's hope that we've got a male and a female. I need somewhere. Let's have a look. What are you? We've still got a male and a female. That's fantastic. Could actually then move the puppy down here. Search on pup. Yeah. Although I'm not keen on putting people's pets in the way of danger. So maybe not. What I am going to do is go up to the surface and we'll quickly just put a refuse pile out here and also a corpse stockpile. We will do other things with the stockpiles. I just need something to deal with the dog corpses before we start getting miasma. There is a necromancer tower. It's 3 days travel away from us. So I need to make sure that we store corpses in a safe way. So I'll be putting them into a pit that has edges on it so that they can't just climb back out the walls. But before I do that, I want to just make sure that I've done as much dumping of stuff like rock and stuff that I actually want to do. Right, the far one. If you're finished, you are. Right, pull that one. And I want a little dumping stockpile. There will do. So that I can clear out this tunnel. Because once we fill it, it will be a long time before it dries itself up. Okay, and then downstairs. So I want them to dig here. See, we've already got one diagonal there, so I don't need to worry about controlling the flow at this point. So we can make it that big. Yep, and I'd like them to dump all of this as well. I'd like them to get rid of that. So D, Z. Yep, that one. Okay, so the dwarf should come and grab all of the rocks that are down here and just stick it in a little stockpile here. At some point in the future, we'll probably, at some point when the channel is empty again, we'll come down here and we'll mine out some of the gems and things. That's the benefit of having 2 drawbridges in here. Can you imagine how terrifying and cute at the same time a weird koala has to look? Indeed. Right. Now, what I want to do is just there, I want to channel that. So someone's got to go outside to do that. Now I'm rather hoping, I think they might have brought in all of the chopped wood that was outside. So we're getting to the point now where they shouldn't need to go outside anymore. Yeah, looking pretty good. The only thing they might need to go outside for, if I wanted to start a bee industry, they might need to collect honeybees. I could get a hive set up pretty quickly just to get that one sorted as well. Where's my crafts dwarf shop? Hey, Alfie! Not the bees! Indeed. It's that one. Alright, make me a rock hive. Make it out of... Sure, anhydrite. Why not? I only need one. What bees? What did I miss? I was just saying we are almost at the point, we're at the point now where people just don't need to go outside anymore. And so the only thing they might need to go outside for is if I decide to get into the bee industry, then they'll need to go outside to collect bees. Now, I think we've got bees actually in our territory, but we've got so many idlers. I need to start doing something with them. But yeah, they might wander outside to collect bees. So I think if we get a hive set up now, then that should be the last thing that they need to go outside for. Right, let's start getting our idlers doing something. So this area here for a start. That can also be a gathering zone. Let's start picking fruits now that we've got more people. We'll say, you people, just read again. You can all be plant gatherers. Go do that. And now I would still really like for my mining dwarves to be... People are idle because I haven't really built much of the inside stuff that I would normally have by this point. But because I want to get this trench dug deeper, I need my mining dwarves to do that before they get cave adapted. So I'm focused on digging outside stuff rather than inside stuff. See, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. All that, by the looks of it. So if we check... Oh yeah, do you know what? I would like to get this dumped as well before I make it inaccessible. Okay, so that gives a lot of people a lot of hauling to do. Something we certainly can do at the moment is let's get rid of that boiler. It's in the way. I'll build a jeweler and we'll start getting some of these jewels knocked out. Okay, so now build me a workshop, a jeweler's workshop. We'll just have that tucked there for the moment. All of you people, you can do... Yeah, any of you. If you're idle, one of you go pick up that job. Alright, now, let's see what we've got. Yeah, cut any of that. Cut that. Cut that. Rose crystal, we'll let you cut that. Not the rock crystal. I might get into making glass at some point. You can cut that. Rock crystal is relatively rare. We've done pretty good for relatively rare things. Alright, that gives somebody something to do. Something of value to do. They've cleaned out that area, that's good. So now I can channel this area down further. Just want to get below the sand layer so that we don't get trees growing here. So the miners are pretty proficient now, so as long as they're not like injured by cave-ins and stuff, so they can get through this mining pretty quickly. Especially when they're just mining sand, it disappears in no time. So we should be able to level out the... I don't want to make it all level, we don't need to dig everything down. But I should be able to get everything down to a rock layer pretty quickly. Aha, human caravan. Okay. Go down to the trade post. Just check, yep, it's accessible. So, what have we got to sell? Vulture eggs. We've got vulture eggs to sell? Really? Yeah, you can have vulture eggs. Do you know, I'm tempted to sell those because we'll be able to make steel. But just in case we can't, I won't. Alright, yeah, you can have the small cut gems. You can take all the crafts. What have we got in the... Oh no, that's just the stuff that we got from the elves. Right, back to selling mugs. And tell you what, you can have all of those and all of those. Yep, I think that will do us.
A baby's been born.
Okay. Right, the miners are exempt from hauling trades goods. So they should be working up here still. Right, and I think that's got rid of the sand in this area. Looks like the sun starts again about here, maybe? So we'll start the next layer down about here. Don't need to redig all of this.
There is a migrant.
You there, stop that singing. Yes, we know there are migrants.
I've never heard that one before. Okay, how many have we got? 2, 3, an animal, 4, 5, 6, 7, a baby, 8, 9, animal, 10, 11, I think. Oh, here we go. Much to share. What would I like from you? Probably your cloth. And some leather. Although, actually, this early on, probably your drinks. Yeah, I'll pay a little bit extra for some of your alcohol so that we can make sure that we have a good variety of alcohol in. That will help to keep our dwarves happy. Yep. Now, what about you? What do you want? Underwear, sheep, quivers, cheese, seeds, drinks, crutches, figurines, headwear. Okay, we've not got much of that. What are these? Oh, rhinoceroses. Okay. Let's get those animals pastured. Right, what have you brought with you? A water buffalo calf and 2 goat kids. Yeah, get them there. So the new people? Are any of you fishermen? No, we do have a couple of hunters. I would rather they actually made it into the base before I tell them not to go hunting. They should come all the way in, just so that I can tell them to drop the crossbow once they're inside rather than outside. There is one more bit of wood just there, actually. They'll soon bring that in. Do I need to... I might need to increase the stockpile. Alright. Wood stockpile. From there to there. Nope, from here. Yep, there we are. Any wood that's lying around, go and get it. We want to deal with that before we get like another werewolf or something. Or weird koala. Okay. Oh, how are we doing with the waterway? Has that been done? It has. Good. So, and the channel is clean. Let's close that one for the moment, and then we'll open the other one. What about down below? Yeah, can we dump some of this and get it inside? That would be good. Alright, here come the migrants. So I think we might have them all by now. Let's switch off hunting. So personally, I find hunting to mostly, depending on the situation, but in a map like this where there's plenty of food to be had, I tend to find that hunting is just a waste of ammunition. What are you going to do? Oh, you're probably collecting wood. Okay, that's fine. No. Right, how are the dwarves getting on with the channeling? They finished? I think they have. Which layer is that? That's this layer. Well, you can set your hunters to only use wood and bone bolts. Not really a big waste there. Enough for the wild animals. Thing is, wood's quite a precious commodity. Maybe not at the start, but unless I find lignite, I find that I end up regretting all of the wood that I spent making wood bolts, and we haven't got any bone bolts at the moment. So until I'm ready to set that up, they're going to be using the bolts that they brought, and I've not really got... we don't really need it. They'll go out there, they'll shoot a few things, they run out of ammunition, they get scared, and they're targeting the giant tortoises, which quite frankly is... I would much rather trap them than shoot them, because I want to catch them. Speaking of which, we need to set up cage traps for them. We should have both a male and a female somewhere on our island. Not sure where though. So yeah, there are certain circumstances where hunting is really important, or certain scenarios, but yeah, I tend to use it if I need it, but if I don't need it, I tend to, rather than having my dwarves running around outside chasing after things when, quite frankly, I can just collect stuff inside. I've got a meat industry started, so I don't really need them to be going out hunting rhinoceroses, and then getting worried when they run out of ammunition. But it might be that they actually did get the tortoises last... Oh no, there's one. Okay, there's a tortoise there. Now, you can build a cage trap right over a tortoise, as long as it doesn't move in the meantime. Let's build a... Now, it counts as a trap, doesn't it? It's a cage trap. Alright, try building it right on top of the tortoise and see what happens. Hopefully we should catch it. And then there was a female tortoise. It was somewhere. When I spotted it, it was here. Yeah, it's right there. And it appears to still be there. So let's build a trap, cage trap, right on top of it as well. Let's see if that works. And then we'll see if we can stick them in a room. We'll try training them. We'll see if we can breed them. Because I actually think that if I can breed tortoises, they, I think, would make a better guard animal than the dogs would, because they'll withstand a bit more punishment. Right. I really need to start work on my workshop room and my stockpile room, start doing things properly. So let's get some of that going. Right, dig an up downstairs here. Connect it to there. Then dig out this area. Let's start getting some of the base looking good and proper. That'll go up to there, and then this. Probably don't want to dig out everything for the moment. Just dig it to there. More native silver. Right, we've got one bit of rock to remove, and then I'll let the water in here. And what's that? That is rock crystal clusters. I would really like that, but we can go get that at a later point. Oh yeah, we best get the trader down here, hadn't we? Okay. So we shall trade all of that. How much we got? 1600. That's not too bad. We should probably need to leave them with a profit of we can probably get away with about a 66% profit at the moment, I think. Problem with giant tortoises, need 5 years to reach their full size. Ah, yeah, but I'm not breeding them so much for their meat. I'm breeding them to be guard dogs, to be an alarm system, so I can put because I will dig more tunnels, and because they will spot intruders, they'll spot elf ambushes, they'll spot weirbeasts, and they'll just take a bit more punishment than a dog will. which gives us a bit more time to trap something in the tunnels. Yeah. I've got pigs for my meat industry, meat and leather, and peafowl for leather and bones, and so yeah, we'll that is starting to build up. Now, I would like a fancy rope, and I think we already have a fancy bucket for the well. Yeah, and the tortoises will probably outlive the fortress, that's true. Yes, very true. Oh, I wonder if they've got another dog. I would buy another dog if someone turned up with one. I will take some of your wine and whiskey and stuff to give the dwarves a bit of variety, but we're still going for the cheap stuff. I don't need any of this. In about a year's time, we'll be very glad when the traders turn up and they're selling us human clothes. Hopefully. Right, it's probably time we started buying cloth and leather so we can start on a clothing industry. Particularly leather, so that we can start making leather armour for the archers. I've got some cheap leather bins here as well, so that's good. Right, let's just see if there's anything else we want at this point. Wouldn't mind a bit more thread and yarn. So we might have used up all of the stuff that we brought with us to deal with people who got injured in the cave-in. Now by this time I would normally start buying books and building a library, but yeah, all of the fiddling around with the cave-ins mean I'm a little bit behind on that. Well, we might get away with 600 to 1,000, like trade a profit of 600 to 1,000 of value. Let's see. Ah, yes, good. So by the time they appear next time, we should be able to up that to double. I need to start.
Well, at least it's not an explosion of cats.
Need to start digging out my stockpiles. So that's a stockpile. Stockpiles coming over here. See if I get that bit dug out to start with. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And then that's somewhere where we can start putting the trade goods. This area in the middle here, I've decided I want to build some sort of mist generator, waterfall, something that, because the dwarves will be walking underneath here an awful lot. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet, but I've built that kind of thing, but always for more functional reasons, like building pump stacks in one place and building wells in other places. I've never sort of designed one into the centre of my fort, and the main reason why is because usually by the time I have I've got myself to the point where I can start playing around with things like pump stacks, I've already built the fort. So I've just marked this area out so that to remind myself that that I'm going to do something here, just so that I don't go digging it out. People are cancelling their drinks. Have we got problems? Why are all those beds suspended? We should have lots of beds. And we should have people making beds. And it's just occurred to me, it's been a long time since those beds were placed there. How are you doing? Are you... Yep, you're brewing, so that's fine. Ah, the door. Right. Leave the peafowl to themselves. Needs empty cage. Have we caught them? Don't tell me we've caught a gander in the cage rather than a tortoise. I don't think so. What about down here? Because we definitely had enough cages to get this done before. Have they caught the tortoises? And now they're trying to reload the cages, I wonder. Alright, well, there's a few things we need to get done. I need to put we need a kitchen, we need a farmer's workshop, we need a second nesting area for the pea chicks once we get hatched eggs. Need to expand the farms. But do I need to take care here about making sure that I save space for somewhere where we're going to be dumping the corpses? Probably not. I'll probably do it more over here. Okay. Right, let's get a bit more space over here. And just to remind myself not to dig here, I'm just going to mark this out and say if I bring this up higher, this is where that would be, so don't dig into it. I think I'll put the other peahens are over there. And we'll expand the farmland out like this. Okay, so there's lots of indoor digging being done. Right, good. So that's been done. So here I want 2 main stockpiles. I want a finished goods stockpile. That's going to go from here to, say, here. But I specifically want it for crafts and toys. So we'll block it all. No, we won't. We'll allow it all. We'll forbid type, except for we'll allow toys, figurines, amulets, scepters, crowns, rings, earrings, bracelets. Sure, large gems and totems. Yeah, that's the stuff that we'll be producing to sell. But nothing that is an artifact. I don't care what material it's made out of. Now, the other thing that I'm going to need a big stockpile of, oh yeah, this one. You can, as many bins as you can fit is fine. Probably need a big furniture stockpile as well. I'm thinking I might put clothing down here. Yeah, because that will be selling a lot of clothing as well over the course of things. So we'll do another stockpile, which is also finished goods. Do that to there. But on this one, I want no bins. And that's because if somebody puts an item of clothing in a bin, nobody else can use any of the stuff that's in that bin until that person's finished with it. And the number of times I've ended up with people running around naked when we've got lots of clothes, it's just that the bins are in constant use because the clothiers are making stuff and people are hauling stuff. Someone's gone to the other side of the map to collect a sock off a dead goblin, and they've said they're going to be putting it in that bin, and it's 2 days before they get back with that sock, and no one can get in the bin until they're back. So clothes I leave outside of bins. But in here, I don't want toys, figurines, amulets, scepters, crowns, rings, earrings, bracelets, large gems, totems. Yeah. So all the other stuff can go there. Alright, meanwhile, up here... I am tempted to remove everything except the food stockpile. And then we can do, we'll plan stockpiles as we go. So planning your food stockpiles is so important because planning exactly how you want your stockpiles to be. Which ones are going to have bins? Which ones are going to have barrels? At least at the moment, as the way the game is, yeah, you just got to get that right. Okay. Now I would like to remove that still because I'm going to expand the farms over here. Talia, welcome to the stream. I prefer minecart assisted quantum stockpiles and no bins. Yeah, as long as I set it up right, I don't usually have a problem with the stockpiles. It's barrels and bins, just making sure that the right things are like, we don't want seeds in barrels, we don't want ammunition, weapons or armor or clothes in bins. Pretty much other than that, I find I don't have a problem. Build me a farm plot. Let's just extend these farm plots. And then we'll have another one next to it, and that should be all of the indoor farm plots that we'll ever need. Okay, now I want to build a couple of stills. We'll have let's see, we'll have a still here. Jet blocks is fine. And then we'll have another still above it there. Again, jet blocks is fine. I want a kitchen. No, a kitchen is Z, isn't it? Yes. I have a kitchen there. And then I want a farmer's workshop here to deal with the pigtails. So a farmer's workshop, and that will be there. Yeah, I have to admit I've not played around with making minecarts useful. I've played around with minecarts just to see how they function. But I haven't done anything useful with minecarts. Right, now I want a stockpile. It's going to be a food stockpile. Let's see, from here, because that's the edge of the workshops. And this is going to be the seed stockpile. So I want no barrels in here. And the reason why is that there is a bug. It's not, you don't always experience it, but you sometimes experience it. Where sometimes if seeds are inside a bag and the bag is inside a barrel, the dwarves can't see the seeds. They look into they see the barrel, and inside the barrel they see the bags, but they don't see the seeds inside the bags. So they tell you they've got no seeds when there are seeds there. It's just that they're inside, they're double contained. So I've found that keeping seeds outside, keeping a separate seed stockpile, which you probably want to do anyway, and having seeds that are not stored in barrels just makes life a lot easier.
No.
You've suspended the construction of a farm plot. Why? Was someone walking on it? Yeah, you built that one. Okay, so yeah, we're out of pigtail seeds, which is only because we've got the plants but I haven't processed them. Alright, so process plants. Just do that forever. I'll tell you what, while we're there, could be telling them to shear and, well, no, it's quite a way. They've got to go all the way up the hill. I'll probably put another workshop upstairs for that. Right, kitchen. Add. Make lavish meals. It's, why not? We're roast of any material. Let's keep 30 to 50 roasts in. So, why make biscuits? We should have plenty of food. Brew drink from plants. Yeah, that's fine. And on this one as well, brew drink from plants. I should tell her to do it with fruit as well. I'm not sure when I'm using the workflows whether that actually matters. Brew drink from fruit. Yeah, I think it just counts as any material, but we can tell it to do it the same. Brew from fruit. Counts towards that. Right, good stuff. Right, good. So we've got the kitchen area working. I need to get the crafts dwarfs making some new nest boxes. So make me rock nest box. Make it out of let's see, what have we got? That, sure, make it out of gabbro, why not? And again, out of gabbro. And one more. Oops. Out of gabbro. They'll get round to that. Just so it's queued up in time for when the chicks hatch. So at the moment they haven't even laid any eggs. They haven't claimed the nest. That's because people have been constantly going in and out and raiding the nests. So now that we've got a door on here and we've got it locked, we should be fine. Okay. Right, next. How are we doing with digging out the workshop area? Good. So now I can start setting up a permanent workshop area. But, you know, we've got plenty of idlers. I'm actually tempted to smooth this area out before we get the workshops in. I don't know, it's probably foolish, but never mind. Someone coming down to do it? Yeah, they'll... Oh, I might not have told them that they're allowed to do that. Let me just see. Yeah, stone detailing. You can all come join in the fun. And if you're not doing anything else, come do that. And we've got enough people now, we should be able to get this done in no time. I should probably have my miners actually digging out the next lot of areas rather than doing this, but it gives them a break and allows them to do something creative. How old is the fort? It's just on a year old, so we're really early. This is the second summer. So, yeah, not too long. And just having... Oh, okay, that's good. Just having a look at the time. I've been going now for 2 hours. So I think what I'm going to do is take a quick break. I just kind of need to take a moment to reassess, have a look, make sure I'm not missing anything that's glaring. Work out kind of what my next plan is. Have I got any weaknesses in the fort? Is there something I'm missing? Because at some point I need to switch from focusing on the defences to focusing on the dwarves' happiness, and we're probably at that point now. But yeah, I'm gonna take a quick break, just have a look over the fort, and I'll be back in say 10-15 minutes. So thanks for watching so far, and I hope you'll join me again shortly.